serves as access into that, gives you access into that industry, into that field. But you still must climb to the decision making aspect of your profession. Yeah, that is the influential part of that profession, and that is the palace. And if you notice that every palace, the elite soldiers in a kingdom is positioned around the palace. They are not at the entrance of the gate. The elite soldiers are the palace. So that's why it's important, and I pray that I know we're going to have a wonderful time. I want to give the other time to talk, but it's wonderful. Working alone, hard work is not just sufficient. You need to add strategy, and that's what we're coming to present to the table to help you guys. The strategy, the principles, the know-how, the plan to take your work from obscurity and put your work and make it prominent.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is not a session to miss. So please, if you are here and then we have friends and loved ones, who are working in offices and organizations, this is time to bring them on board. This promises to be a very, very powerful session. You know, um, I was, while preparing for this particular session, I was having some thoughts in my mind. We are not here to condemn hard work. It's a very, very important principle in life for you to be able to be productive about anything. Hard work has got to be expressed in everything that you do. So let's keep that ahead. So, very quickly, we'll be going to the context of our conversation tonight. We just talked about the fact that we are talking about invisible excellence. So, first of all, the concept of invisible excellence, like we just, talked about, this is when somebody is putting out work, someone is producing real value. There is no negotiation about the real value is being put on the table. Someone is really, really working hard, but this value is not clearly seen by the decision making bodies, by people who are responsible for advancement. So, this is the concept of invisible excellence. You know, it's just important for us to clear this out. So, the idea here is competence is not the problem, but the visibility of the competence is what is missing, you know. And this is what we are here to talk about. This has caused so many frustration, for people who are putting in the work every day, and we are here to be able to give some very, very valuable insights as to how to move from this particular direction. Um, you know, there's something I have noticed about organizations. They operate through two invisible rooms. I call them one the execution room, and the other I call it the decision room. In every organization, you see the execution room. That's where operations, activities, that's where the work gets done. Analyzing data, presenting results, supporting teamwork, that's where it's done. But unfortunately, high performers, people who are, very serious at work, who put in the work, they are stuck in this particular room. They are just there, going through that activities. And in this room, people see the work that you give. And most times people respect you for that. They talk about you. When people are on their way going home, have you seen Mr. Sam? That man is hardworking. He is he's the first to come, he's the last to go. He's the first to come, he's the last to go. But the truth is, the work that you put in at this level does not necessarily, turn into promotion, And that's one of the things I had to talk. And then the other room is the decision room, you know. Just like Reverend David was talking about earlier, this is where the kings are. This is where people who make decisions are. And unfortunately, if you are stuck in the execution room, your your hard work will not be seen, in the decision room. And this is what brings frustration. In the decision room, the kind of questions that goes there is, Who are we promoting next? Who is due for promotion? You know, who who can we give more responsibilities? These are the kind of questions that goes on in the decision room. And you want the discussion of your work, the discussion of your value you bring to the table to be discussed more in the decision room than in the execution room. So, talking about context, Reverend David, talk to us as regards what we are talking about, defining the scope of our conversation. I don't know if you want to add your voice to this area before we move on.
Yeah, when I was looking at this, there was word that came about perception, you know, because perception is critical too. You performance is what you do, but perception is what people believe you do. Yeah, let me say that again. Performance is what you do, but perception
Mm.
is how people is what people believe you do, and you have to control. That is something that you just spoke of decision makers who decide the table they sit to decide. You won't be there. You will not be there. So you have to control that. So the point I'm making here is that, like you said, we are not saying that hard work is bad, but you must go beyond hard work. Perception is critical. Controlling perception. You can also liken that to character and reputation. Character is what you do. Reputation is how people see what you do. Okay, because it's critical to lifting, it's critical to promotion, it's critical from taking you from obscurity and bringing you to, it's making your excellence visible instead of invisible. It's making it visible. I'm a pastor. Most of my examples taken from the Bible. You see in the Bible where the Bible says that the Lord, you'll find favor in the sight of the Lord. You'll find favor in the sight of the Lord. You'll find grace in the sight of the Lord. So that is perception. So it's very important that you deconstruct the perception gap. And what do I mean by that? Investigate why you are invisible. Why am I invisible? Why am I working like this and putting all of these things into play, making the company to be what the company is? But why is it that people are not recognizing my effort? You have to investigate why you are invisible. Okay, and you must also understand too that there is this firefighter brigade kind of attitude that the world has. And what is that? They only reward people, they reward this breakdown. When something breaks down or somebody is always complaining and complaining, and then they have to go to rescue. They have to go to rescue. That's what they find out that person, they think that person is doing something. But you that is not complaining, but you take precaution. So okay, let's give this example. You have two buildings, for example, 25 years each, and then this day there's a fire breaker. The fire service people come and they rescue everybody, and then they applaud the fire people for putting up the fire. But the other building that was there, you who has been taking precaution to make sure that you got your fire extinguisher, you told your kids not to put fire in the place. And
I think
it's
the
key.
network. Okay.
Yeah, perception is key. You have to know how to sell yourself. And the next thing I also want to point out here too, is make sure that your accomplishments and your results are documented. Make sure that they are documented. If someone tells you thank you, if your boss is telling you thank you, make sure it is documented. Make sure everything you are doing is documented. Why I'm saying so is because management can change. Management can change. You could work under this management that could be probably a bad management. A bad management didn't favor you. But who knows? Maybe there's a tenure to his office and he will leave. But if your good records are not documented, the next administration that is coming will not know. You see, you can't go to the next administration and say, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this. They will ask you, where did you document it? Where is it written? So all of these things are little things that we have to address that keep people bound. So document it. Make sure that you document it. Your efforts should be documented. By documenting it, you are making it visible. You are taking it from invisible and making it visible. Okay, because we are talking about you coming from, from being visible and bringing you to visibility. You know,
mm, mm.
so let me stop here, Victor.
Awesome. While you were giving that example about documentation, there's a story in the scriptures that actually came to my mind where the king talked about getting the book of remembrance. Is
Wow.
it is it Queen Esther? I think it was for Queen Esther, right? Where he said they should get him the book of remembrance. And it was from there they saw that he actually did something, I think, for the king. And that was how.
Listen, Victor, if it is not documented, it did not happen.
Exactly. That is
If
it.
if it is not documented, if it did, I mean, even God had to document it and made Bible. Jesus
Mm,
document. So
mm, mm,
not documented, it did
mm,
not happen. I want somebody to watch this to know that if the only thing you will take from here, if it is not documented, it did not happen. I think when we study in school, there's oral history. They say the
mm.
most reliable type of history is the written history.
Written history.
Because oral history can be, changed from one person to
Exactly.
you will not get the accurate thing that happened. So make sure that everything you are doing, they are documented, they are filed, you have the data of it.
Mm,
And
mm.
and so that if this administration it does not favor you or this management does not favor you, the next one that is coming will see the fact.
And, and that's so powerful. I even see the application with entrepreneurs, for example. You getting reviews from your customers, getting reviews from people that you partner with. These are also very critical things, to do because they go a long way to speak for you. Thank you so much for that particular point. And I want to talk about positioning also, the power of positioning as we have already entered into giving the framework, you know. Now we're already talking about how can somebody who is stuck in this particular problem, how can they get out? Reverend just talked about documentation, documenting everything that you do, documenting also reviews from your superiors, your managers, anything they want to do, what you do, let there be the proper documentation, So I want to talk about positioning. And with positioning, it has to do with, strategic. I want to talk about the part of strategic relationships.
Yeah.
It's also very, very key. Um, Before I even get there, let me talk about knowing the type of projects to get on. Somebody talked about the 80-20 principles,
Yeah.
at work. You, and that relates to perception that you talked about, controlling the narrative about you. Don't go and be part of a project that you know that what they are doing, will not end well. You know, know the type of things to be involved in. With that, you are able to control the kind of things or results or news that comes out about you. Some people are so strategic about that. They don't just get into things anyhow. You know, you see them, they be like, this one you like jumping from one place to the other. They know what they are doing. Especially at the workplace. It's not a place where you can just do a free to air kind of. So that the kind of history, the kind of things that are written about you, you have control about them. You know, people say they say use common sense, use your head. They'll tell you to use your head. It's a very very important thing. So talking about positioning, position yourself in a place where the kind of um, projects that you are involved in, the kind of relationships you are involved in, are things that lead you, vertically towards that positions you properly in the eyes of the decision making bodies. It's so critical. It's so critical. Don't You don't want to be in a place where your discussion is on the horizontal level. When your fellow people are going, your fellow colleagues are going home, that's when they are discussing about you. But your news never ever reaches, the table of decision making bodies to discuss. Oh, he's doing well. He was able to lead that project. That is what brings promotion. That is what wants to get you ahead. And something about promotion, you talked about earlier the fact that moving up the ladder is very important. When you get used to a particular level, there's something it does. It stagnates, it gets someone bored and then gets used to routines.
Mm-hmm.
You want to move ahead, you want to make progress so that you can see the expression of your potentials at a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
When you stay on a particular level and then all you are just doing, and on the outside, people can say, oh, wow, for him to be doing all those, that's really, really powerful. But it
Yeah.
has become normal day routines for you. And
Yes.
there's something about a human. You want to see more of you. You don't want to come to a place where you are used to doing something, the same thing year in, year out. Year
Yes.
in, year out. You want to come to a place where, this year you are promoted to this level, you are operating
Yes.
at a higher level of personal potentialities, you are
Yes.
solving higher problems. This is what keeps people inspired. This is what keeps people, going. There was, I think Bishop T.D. Jakes once gave an example, about someone where I think a fish, a catfish, yeah, a catfish. They were doing an experiment, and then the catfish, they did put the catfish in a particular box, you know, with
Mm-hmm.
other ones in the box. And the ones in the box, they noticed that they were used to the shape of that particular box. So they
Mm.
know where they will come and then they will hit the edge. So it was just like a cramped walk, you know. But you can't compare the one that is free in the river, who the ocean will swim it, it will go this way, enjoying the ride. This is where you want to be. You want to be in a place where you are not just cornered, you are not just used to routines. I don't know if you want to add your voice to that.
Yes. I add my voice to that. I want to add my voice to, you talk about positioning.
Mhm.
Positioning is very key. What I want to say here is moving, solve boss level problem.
Mm,
Solve boss, BOSSLEV, solve boss level problems. Stop just doing your job perfect. Look at the manager's biggest headache and solve it.
mm, 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 mm. That's
Hmm.
that's really profound.
Powerful. I'm telling
That's
you.
that's profound.
Yeah,
There's something that. Please go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead, please.
That is positioning. Victor, that you talk about positioning now. I don't want to
Yes.
be, because you see, you have to make yourself visible. You have to make yourself, let me use my own English, qualifiable.
Mhm,
Make
mhm,
yourself qualifiable by solving the boss's problem.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Because
And one
you
thing
see,
that does,
mhm,
yes, one thing that does, let me just come in quickly. One thing that does is, I think every leader wants someone who beats down the load of work on their hands.
that's it.
I think they
That's
never
it.
forget that type of person, and you want to be that type of person in an organization. Please go
Position,
ahead, sir.
position. And that is it now, so that when they are looking for the one to get the job done, you
Mhm.
have just positioned yourself. You have
Exactly.
made the, and you see what you do once you enter into that place, you have left the position of being a resource to an asset.
Come on now.
You are not a resource in that company. You are now an asset in that. Asset. You are an asset, bro, in that company. It means
Absolutely.
that you are a stakeholder. They
Mhm,
cannot do without.
mhm, mhm.
Because even though by virtue of physical positioning, you are just an assistant manager, but the problems you are solving is CEO's problem.
Absolutely.
CEO's problem you are solving. And then
Absolutely.
and when the CEOs are having their meeting and the boards of directors of the company is having their meeting in Dubai, assuming this company is located in Lagos and they are going in Dubai, and they will say, look, let's call Victor to come. But the man is the manager. I said, no, bro, this man, we are looking for who to solve the problem. This man is
Absolutely.
has CEO's mentality. That is
Absolutely.
position. That is
Mm.
positioning. So let me tell this is very, very critical. This is powerful. And this is one of the ways it's in the Bible. Sorry, I'm a pastor. Most of my examples come from the Bible. Look
Please
at
go
David.
ahead. Of course, it's the most
Look,
trustworthy source to ever get examples. Please go ahead.
look at David. They ostracized him, put him to the backside. Nothing good can come from out of him. His brothers were there having a fine time with Goliath. He said, no problem. But when the problem came, when the giant came and confronted Israel, when there was a problem, they needed somebody with an answer. They needed somebody who would provide the answer. David
mm,
came from the backside of the desert. And what did he do? He solved the problem. He solved the
absolutely.
national problem. And as a
Absolutely.
result of solving the national problem, he got promoted. He married the
Absolutely.
king's daughter. He never paid tax. So one of the ways to position yourself and move yourself from this place of being invisible to making yourself visible, don't shout, don't brag. Let your work speak for you. Okay?
That was
Solve the boss, solve the boss's problem. Start
beautiful.
thinking for start thinking for him and solve his problems. You will find out that that's one of the easiest ways. He will pick his phone, he will call you.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know, my bishop will say something to me. He said, partner, they may not like your face, but they can't do without your wisdom. Yeah. They may not like your face, but one thing is that they want to keep hearing you because they can't do without your wisdom.
Mm, mm, mm. And what a resounding wisdom we are hearing tonight. While you were just talking about David, something
Yeah.
about visibility also popped up. You know,
Okay.
it was not as if they told him from the backsides of the mountain to come and fight Goliath. It was none of his business. He just came and they just sent him to come and deliver food to, supplies to the brothers. And when he came, he noticed there was a problem and
Yeah.
he did not keep quiet.
Yeah.
Immediately he asked, "What's going on there? Can I know what is going on there?" And then
Yeah.
he went out and I was like, "Okay, this one is something I can solve." He did not shut up. What is going to happen to the person that solves this? He made all the inquiries and was like, "I'm going for it. I want to do it." He made his competence visible. On
Yeah.
the backside, he had been training, killing, lion, killing the bear. So that competence was there in David. He did not wait for newspaper to come and announce him. He was the one that went to the king, went to and told the people that yes, this one is something I can do. So
Yeah.
we got to be intentional about putting ourselves out there. This we have gone past the times where you will say, "No, let my hard work speak for me. If I work, they will notice me." Mm-mm, that does not work anymore. For
Yeah.
any talent you have, for any skill that you have to. As you are working hard on the work, you are working hard on visibility also intentionally, creating plans. How do I? This is my organization. Now you have prepared the plan or the systems and structures that you want it to operate by. The next thing is, what is the plan that I'm going to use to get this thing out?
Yeah.
We're having a meeting in the Swift Institute about our roadmap the other time. We have a visibility plan. There is something we are doing. It's not just enough that we have the message. We also have a means. We have plans on ground on how do we take ourselves into the circle of people that need the solution that we offer. Having the solution alone, does not automatically put you in the face of people that need it. And where effectiveness comes is the person with the solution and the person with the need have to meet. This is when
Hmm.
promotion comes. This is what turns into
Hmm.
cash. This is what turns into authority. This is what turns into influence. You know, and these things are not automatic. There's intentionality that have to be put into it. I don't know if you want to add your voice to that before we move on, sir.
Yeah, it's important. And the next thing I want to say, in terms of the positioning you talk about, like I
Mm,
said, please stop your boss's problem. You get paid. You get paid, you get rewarded by the
mm,
problem you solve, by the type
absolutely.
of problem you. Yes, so please solve the problem. There are
Absolutely.
people, the time God will push you up, you become indispensable. Okay?
Mm, mm,
Your future, your future is in you. Just put it in you. Do personal development and wait for the right timing. Put all these things together. But let me also talk about this one. This one, don't just say when you do your work, don't just say, it's done. I've completed it. It's finished. I've finished it. No. Explain the process. Let people know the process. People need to know the process. They need to know the steps. Why is it important? Let people know the sacrifice. Let people know the commitment that you have put into that work. Now, in presenting it, you are not talking about yourself. Don't mention yourself because If you mention yourself, they will say you're proud, you this, you that, you bragging. No, but give them, state the process, state the process, state the data, and know the data. It's very, 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 very important. Do it. Very important. Because you know the truth about it is that you did the work. The truth about it is that it is your genius that did the work. So you need to spell it out. Okay, it comes alongside. So review the process, not just the result, but review the process. This is part of positioning. It's part of establishing your domain. It's part of establishing your domain in your industry. It's part of establishing your relevance. It's part of establishing your competence. Because, like Victor is saying, and we are saying, hard work alone, just hard work alone is not a marketing strategy. Let me add this one. It's not a marketing strategy. Yes, so that we just did it. It's not a marketing strategy. The marketing strategy, this is now the marketing strategy. All these little things that you are putting together, that we are talking that you should put together in your work, that's what makes it to be visible. So explain the process. Move you from there. You are again, you are not blowing your trumpet, but you are just telling them that this is what it costs you to do this. It costs you to do this. You went through this step. You went through this step. The organization did this. It was a teamwork. This, and let people know everything that you are doing, so that you tell them, you review the process and not just the result. It's very, very important. And make sure too, like I said, document it. Make sure all of these things are documented. They are documented because the workplace is a hostile place. You're working in a very, very hostile environment. So you have to know how to dot the T's and dot the I's and cross the T's. Yeah.
That's powerful. That's really, really powerful. And while even talking about solving the boss's problem, there is something that does. It helps to get into the mind space, the private space of decision
Wow.
makers. It
Wow.
helps you to get into, that space where, they when you get one thing, you might not have are privileges, like you cannot enter your boss's house, you cannot enter your
Wow.
boss's
Ah,
bedroom,
but you
but
can enter his head.
my guy,
You may not enter his car, but you can enter his head.
you can enter.
Wow. Wow.
And guess what? When you enter his head, he will take you to the bedroom. He will take you.
Wow. 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 That's powerful. That's powerful.
And guess what? Guess what? It's one of the places you want to stay rent free. You will stay in
Yeah.
that place. If he's flying to America, he's flying with you. If he's going to Japan, he's thinking about you. And you rightly hit the nail on the head earlier. When you say, when you solve the boss's problem, you become the boss's friend. You become somebody who he even in his private circle, having discussion with his friends at his level,
Yes.
he will always make reference to you. And that's really, really,
Wow.
really important. Absolutely. Very, very important. There is no way you can operate at this level and then you are not an agent of promotion at any time. We're not even talking of, you know, you become someone who thinks systems and structures. And this is the next one I want us to go to as we begin to round up, thinking systems and structures. And this one, there's something in leadership. I think they call it. There are two levels of leadership. There are other levels, but I just want to talk about these two as we talk about systems and structures. Operational leadership and strategic leadership. You know, and
Okay.
people who are working activities, people who are taking care of. I have to do this. I have to analyze data. We have to present results. Those are operational parts, of the organization, But there are people at the executive level, they are doing the strategic leadership. This is just the comparison. When you have like foot soldiers, and then you also
Yeah.
have someone who has the helicopter view from up, you know. So if you are someone who is doing your job as an employee, but has a mind that thinks, also with the helicopter view, you will work with a difference. Your
Yeah.
leaders, that's what they do. They work with the helicopter view. They are not, they are not the one typing the email. They are not the one doing the other jobs, yeah. But they are up there watching, looking at, okay, what is the contribution of this one? Who is doing this one? But they are not held in. And one thing you can do is, if you are able to enlarge your horizon, to think systems and structures, it makes
Mm.
you a different breed of worker. Over to you, Mr. Davidson.
Yes, what I was thinking about being a pivot to structural growth, being
Mm,
generation, I put it, being futuristic. Let your work you are doing always be, it's part of systems,
mm,
building systems. Let
mm.
it exist when you are not present. You know,
Absolutely.
you don't
Absolutely.
have to be present for your work to work.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. You don't have to be present for your
Mm.
work to.
Oh,
This is
wow.
very key. Let me tell you this. This is for you. This is a takeaway for you. Now, this is when you start building a legacy, a life legacy.
Mm, mm,
That's when you start building life legacy. So you don't have to be present for your work to work.
mm.
Always build for the future. Build with the future in mind.
Wow.
Build with the future. This is very key.
Wow.
He's talking about systems. He's talking about structure. It's part of it. But build with. You know why this is important? It's important because you may leave the organization tomorrow, but the organization has not left you. Yeah. What you must be able to start the same organization
Mm,
somewhere. If you
mm,
work in the company,
mm, 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 mm. Hello? Are you there? All right. While we wait for him, I think it's a network glitch or so. So, I think I'll just relate this particular experience. So, someone once asked me recently, and then he did say, what the organization I'm working with or leading right now. He said, "What if I move away from here or something happens? What will be the fate? What will be my fate and the fate of the organization?" And then it was just what Reverend David was talking about. What I told him was something how do I say, he appreciated the response. What I told him was this: if I live where I am right now, I will be able to replicate everything about this organization anywhere, even if I don't carry the book or whatever it is that I've had notes or whatever it is with me. Why? Because the systems and the structures of these organizations are inside me. And that's what we are talking about, Working in a place and then you are thinking at that boss level is actually very, very key. I think probably network got him down. But yeah, we are rounding up already. We're rounding up already. And then before we go on to the next segment, I want to have Pastor Chef. Are you there, sir? Pastor Chef, are you there? Please, just to confirm, can you hear me? Mr. Gideon, Mr. Albert, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you from here, sir.
Awesome, awesome. Pastor Chef, please go ahead, give us your submission, sir.
Okay. Actually, a lot has been said. I want to come through the spiritual aspect of what we've just discussed.
Mm,
Being visible in the place of work, how some people they are the engine room and they are not recognized.
mm,
I'm actually going to speak this from a personal experience and a personal perspective. Sometimes most people they are. That's why it's another thing to be very good at what you're doing. Another thing is for you to control the realm of the spirit, because whatever becomes successful today in the physical, it has already played a very, vital principle in the realm of the spirit. If you control your realm of the spirit, your physical becomes so easy, so visible, and so pushing. You know, once upon a time, 7 years ago, I was actually putting, uh, I was the engine room of an advertising agency, and even people that don't even do well that I do, they're being recognized. And along the line, I do everything physically, and it's not forthcoming. And I decided to seek the divine, inspiration from the throne of grace. And I found out that actually what was actually, blocking my glory was my hereditary patterns from blood generation, you know. And let me tell you, whether you like it or not, you know, the spiritual version of you is actually, the power room of your visibility and breakthrough wherever you find yourself. And when I engage myself in the principle of breaking those ties, trust me, when I came out of it, the manager was like asking, what happened? How come this guy has not gone to this level? What happened? What happened? So you cannot estimate the realm of the spirit, no matter how good you are. And that's why I always tell people, and you see, that's why you see whatever I do today, I am so focused in the realm of the spirit. The meaning of Pastor Chef, I'm coming up with something fantastic on my hub. The meaning of Pastor Chef is basically physical and spiritual food. So we are who we are by God, by discovering the spiritual aspect of us in life. Because whatever happened to you in the physical has already played a vital role in the spiritual. So no matter how great we are, we should learn how to understand and control the spiritual aspect of us. So this is just a very practical, a true life story of what happened to me. And trust me, sometimes the spirituality part of it also make you invisible where you are walking, and we can't over downplay on that. We can't downplay on that. It's a fact and it's a reality. So I just want to just comment in that aspect of this discussion.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pastor Ted, for that very, very valuable contribution. Thank you so much. Not underplaying the place of one spiritual stand, in terms of promotion. Promotion does not come from the west, not from the east. All right, welcome, sir. I think the network there. Mr. Chair, please, can you help us on mute for a while? I think we are having some echo.
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for that very powerful contribution. That's basic and that's really, really powerful. Yes, you're welcome, sir. Please, do you have anything in the tank for us as we shoot ahead?
Closing. I
Yeah.
missed.
I mean, but you still have any points in the models before we move on? We're almost done.
Yeah, I was just talking about building a legacy, and I was talking about systems. It's important you create systems because systems keeps you automated. Even in your absence, it keeps your work automated. You don't have to be visible to be seen. Once you build systems, when you put systems in your work, you can absent yourself and your work goes in. It's very important. God created the whole world, but He built systems. When He said, "Let there be light," okay, He built a hydroelectric system. Today we have electricity, so that He will not always have to be here every day saying, "Let there be light, let there be light, every day, let there be light." Yeah. Yes, yes. So he built system into his creation to automate it. When he made the birds of the air to fly, what he did, he put the law of aerodynamics in the air. So yes. So at the end, he did everything. Then he said, "It's good." He left creation, and since that time, he never came here. But the systems he put into creation now is what is keeping creation to be going. So that is part of your work ethics, as you have to build with systems in mind. That is part of your legacy, because you will not always be physically present. So whatever you are building, make sure you build it to the extent that they can work without you, they can run without you. It's very, very key.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Reverend Padma, for that. Now we move on to one of our final segments, strategic insights. Right here, I have something I said. If your excellence remains invisible, your advancement will go to those whose work is more visible. You know, in as much as we're talking about this in the corporate world, in the professional world, even in our personal lives, yeah, just like David was speaking about the competence that he knew he had. Be your best marketing manager of your brand. Anywhere you go, you should be ready to talk about what you've got inside you. And also, I have one more. I said your career is determined not only by what you do, but by who understands the value of what you do. I take that again. Your career is determined not only by what you do, but
Yes.
by who understands the value of what
Perception,
you do. Exactly.
control,
That's
controlling. Yeah.
exactly. That's perception. People need to know what you do, even without you saying it, represents something. All right. Do you have anything to add, sir?
Finally, my final word is excellence is only invisible if you allow it to stay silent. Excellence is only invisible if we
Mm,
allow it to stay silent. That's all
abs-
we are saying. Excellence
Absolutely.
is only invisible. Your excellence is only invisible if we allow it to stay silent. But all that we have said today is to give voice to your excellence. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. He did not want to build in darkness. He did not want to build and keep all what he has done in darkness, and he has his work is not seen. So the first thing he said was, "Let there be light." I cannot build in darkness. I can do all of these great things here, and then it will not be visible. I will not be promoted. So we knew that. So excellence is only invisible if we allow it to stay silent. So it's key. Everything that we have said here, it goes hand in hand with your work. Put it together, and I'm sure, I guarantee you, it's just going to be a matter of time, and the world will hear your news.
And as we summarize, no one lights a lamp and hides it under a jar. This is what we are talking about. You have come alive. There is greatness in you. Let the world know. Let the people that need the solution that you carry know what you carry. Mr. Albert, good evening to you. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining us. Mr. Albert, are you there?
Good evening to you all.
You're welcome, welcome, welcome. Please go ahead, give us your submission on uh, um,
At the last week, there's like the discussion we had, I think on Tuesday on YouTube. Like the last speaker actually said, excellence it's key. You may be so excellent, but you can't allow that excellence of yours to stay silent. You just have to be out there in the media or just develop your communication skills to make sure that you are able to communicate the value you have or whatever you have to offer. I mean, like contribute your ideas wherever you find yourself. It may be in meetings or in your workplace. Just yeah, don't be silent
thank you
because
so much.
God Himself showed us the like my man of God used to say. He showed us the principle. He spoke creation into being. So you just have to speak up.
Mm, speak
Yeah.
up. Thank you so much, Mr. Albert. All right, Mr. Gideon, over to you. Please give us a submission as we round up.
All right, thank you so much. It's been an insightful, thought-provoking, and interesting session. Thank you so much for been jotting and taking notes. I just want to say thank you, especially for during the conversation on documentation. There's this words you use on um, without documentation, there is no history. There, nobody will know that you were here if there was no documentation. That struck like I run a company, but I just have a look at myself, my journey. No proper documentation. I need to do better. I run a podcast, but I need to do better because somebody needs
Exactly.
to know that I was here. A history have to be
Yeah.
written.
Yes.
So thank you so much on that. During the conversation on positioning also, I took quite a number of notes also. It's been an insightful and
Yeah.
thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. This is world class master class. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much, Mr.
Pastor.
Gideon.
Yeah. I hope I get to talk with you. I hope I get to talk with him after this. I don't know how you can link me with him.
Of course, he's yes, yes, we're on board. We'll talk in the group. All right, thank you so much, everyone. It's been a great honor having you, Reverend David, on the platform tonight. Yes, beautiful session, and until we come your way again on Thursday, this is the Swift Take Action Hub. It's a part of what we do in the Swift Institute. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely night's rest and enjoy the rest of your week. No hiding. Keep showing up and keep marketing yourself and your competence. Good night, everyone.